You. Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions, complaints, other stuff, ideas at wrestlingishard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. You can follow me on Twitter at Jim Lorraine Bar. Brandon, hello. How are you?
Yeah, give us some ideas. I'm just kidding.
I actually have an idea at the end of this episode.
I'm good, man. Girlfriend just left about an hour ago. She's on vacation for the next 2 weeks. And I got not stuck with, but I'm watching The Family Dog. So I got a 1-year-old, about 12-pound dog that's going to be living with my roommate for the next 10 days. So we're feeling each other out. So if you hear any barking or the sounds of a hummingbird or something in the background, it's because I have TV for dogs on in an effort to keep it quiet for the podcast. But
very nice. Very nice.
Other than that, pretty good. Had my first calzone over the weekend. Just finally passing that.
I'm having a hard time passing that. Where'd she go?
She's going to Europe, so it's a great time to go. Yeah, she's going to fight actually. In the
She's going over with weapons.
Yeah. I got her some throwing stars from the Quakerstown Farmers Market. We're just gonna go see what she can do over there. Ukrainian descent, but no, she's going to Dublin, Switzerland, Paris. So I passed.
Cape Valley.
It's like nine ladies.
You didn't want to be the guy that carries all the bags.
One dude. Yeah. So I passed. I'm holding down the fort. Xbox City, baby.
Nice. Oh, how we doing on Elden Ring? Where we at? How's it going?
Can you believe, Jim? I haven't even fucking fired it up once since the last time we talked. That's how whack it's been around here.
Remember, I'm sure you know, do the tutorial before you dive in, right?
That's right.
Have you seen this?
I completely blew past it. I missed it too. Yeah. I was one of those.
Chris, hello. How are you?
Hello.
How was the leftover calzone?
The trash can liked it.
Oh. Dude, that first bite into the Batman Calzone, that bite of ricotta cheese rolled up in mozzarella, rolled up in.
Whoa. You're going to use the term ricotta cheese loosely. It was something resembling ricotta cheese.
It's fantastic. Yes, that ricotta cheese made me vomit. It's like the box-like structure, ricotta cheese-like structure.
That was fresh. That was fresh mozzarella.
That was mozzarella. That was fresh mozzarella on there. Buffalo.
Yeah,
Chris, did I get you with the clogged artery thing? Is that why that ended up in the trash?
Oh. No, I would have ended up in the trash either way, but that helped. I'll tell you that.
I took one more bite before I left. I wanted to savor the flavor.
You're one sick puppy, Jim.
And then I've been savoring it out of my butt for the last 3 days.
Apparently, Jimmy and my significant other shared a fat kid moment over a Batman Calzone or two.
Yeah, listeners, I purchased 2 Batman Calzones and an order of Crazy Bread on the way to watch a certain pay-per-view that we will review today. It was fucking spectacular. It was delicious. It was disgusting. It was amazing. I loved it. Would do again if I wasn't a big fat pig, man, and I hate myself right now. But there you go. Should we talk about wrestling or what?
Let's get into it.
All right. Are you fired up? Are we fired up to talk about this? Come on, be honest with me.
I think we'll get there. I have some it's at the time I had some thoughts, and then you sit on it for 36 hours, and they kind of subside. But I have a feeling they will bubble back up as we get going. But I wouldn't use the term "fired up" by any means.
It's kind of gestated.
Exactly.
You give it a couple days to process. It's like when you go see a movie, like when people went and saw The Batman over the weekend, and they said it's the greatest fucking movie ever created. You always wait a couple days before you start saying that kind of stuff. the
Right.
thrill of the moment, or like being disappointed in the moment. Wait a couple days. Let it build inside you. Let you think about it a little bit, and then process your thoughts. But we'll talk about some of this stuff because the Twitter is going nuts. The Twitter and the internet are going nuts over this fucking pay-per-view. So I guess we'll just dive right into the pay-per-view. I don't know. There's some other stuff we could talk about. We'll talk about some WWE stuff before we do it, or
I watched a little WWE last night.
oh, okay, Chris.
Yeah,
how's WWE going?
I watched one thing on WWE. I don't remember how it got on the television, but it got there, and it was. Now I didn't watch from beginning to end. I didn't watch the whole show from beginning to end. I didn't know
Raw
watch
you're talking
this.
about,
Yeah, and I didn't watch this match from beginning to end. I watched the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. It was a tag team match. Triple threat. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, RK Bro, and what do they call it? Chad Gable's team, Alpha Academy, which is Chad Gable and Otis.
Yes.
And it actually it
couple of alphas.
So, yeah. So let's just say this right off the bat. It's one of the best matches I watched on TV in a long time.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what the internet's telling me.
I didn't realize because I didn't turn it on. I turned it on midway through the match, so I didn't know. But I spoke to somebody today that I know, and he said that match went for like 45 minutes.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. He also said, do you think maybe Vince or whoever's like day to day, who knows who's like running things like that? I assume it's still Vince. Is hearing about these, big tag matches on AEW, and I cut him off right there. I said, no, he's not. He doesn't care. And I firmly believe that. It was a great thing. It turned out that it led into some news last night and today, which I found since I don't watch WWE, I found kind of came out of left field, but maybe it didn't. They could have been brewing this story for months. And that was the.
Should we get into it?
Well, why don't we wait before we get into that? Because I wanted to say something. We were watching this match, and I was watching with my wife, who's kind of like she loves wrestling. She loves to watch wrestling. She'll always go to wrestling. She's gone with us a few times. She enjoys the spectacle of it. So if you throw it on the TV, she'll watch it unless it's somebody she really doesn't like, and then she'll turn it off. But, she doesn't watch it with the eyes that we watch it with, which is probably a good thing.
Better.
But we had a conversation. There was a spot during the match where, I want to say Chad Gable was on the top turnbuckle, and then Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens were going to give him the superplex, and then Otis came in and powerbombed everybody. We know this spot. The spot is not new. We've seen it a million fucking times. Whatever. And it brought up I said, we've seen this. You know what I mean? Like
Tower of Pain
times,
or something.
whatever it's called. I was like, we've seen this a million times. This isn't new. You know what I mean? It's lost basically all of its luster. And it led to the conversation of, I was explaining to Rose, I said, matches are not, and I think this is where sometimes AEW kind of fails, indie wrestling fails. Matches are not they're not always about moves. They're about telling stories. And I said, and the best guy that was in that ring, the two of the best guys that were in that ring last night are Kevin Owens, in my opinion, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And when you think about Kevin Owens to a lesser degree, but when you think about Randy Orton, how many moves does he do?
KO.
That's it. He's got his
big one.
Well, hold on. He's got 3 moves. He's got the DDT from the top rope, or a draping DDT from the middle rope. He's got I think he does the one with the backbreaker, and then the other thing is the backbreaker over the knee thing. He's got his shit.
Stomp.
Yeah.
He'll burn someone alive.
He'll burn somebody alive if he has to. But his matches are so it's so in the anticipation of these things happening, right? You wait for that weird thing where he spins around and hits the ground and thumps his hands and snake mans it. But the whole match, he's moving slow. It's a lot of, Shesta, forearms to the back, a lot of walking around and stalking, a lot of, what do they call that? Where they grab you by the chin and they rear chin lock and they pull you back. A lot of that shit. the guy knows how to tell a story without having to flip and fly all over the place. I like when they flip and fly, but when you do it all the time, it kind of takes away from it, doesn't make it special. And then Kevin Owens, I mean, even if you look at guys in AEW that like are great technical guys or tell great stories in the ring, Bryan Danielson has a ton of moves in his arsenal. But when you look at the ones in which he really shines, it's these weird submissions that basically just eat time and he acts through them. Right? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say here? It's not, oh, he did a moonsault and then he did this off the side. Then he did a swanton off a bridge into a river and, chased the fucking Intercontinental Championship and fished it out for The Rock, whatever. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is like you see some of these guys, you see that stark contrast between, wow, this guy knows how to tell a story, and this guy's a really super athlete and he's fun to watch, but we're not really learning shit.
Just to tag on to what you're saying, Chris, I think part of it too, and sometimes you can like forget that it's happening in front of you if you watch enough AEW. But when Bryan Danielson comes out, it's like, oh, he's here to inflict pain upon his opponent.
Right.
Where a lot of the matches that does not necessarily apply.
Mox does the same thing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's all in this like kind of stalky, this kind of slow beat down or grindy storytelling. Where even if they're working heel, the babyface coming back from that beating is just such a big comeback that it makes it that much better. So just a little thing I noticed, just the mastery of watching these guys tell a story in a ring. Kevin Owens is the same way. He does like his crazy Kevin Owens shit, but a lot of it's the looks and the things that he says. Not the cannonball in the corner. You could take that out and he'd still just be as awesome as he ever was. So just a little note, just kind of off the deep end on that. But I just noticed that like you can see sometimes, for people like us that have been watching wrestling our whole lives that attempt to do this analytical show about watching wrestling and end up just talking about shit in your pants. Things like that. It's just like we watch it through such a different eye. And when you explain that to people like that aren't really watching it the same way I are, you kind of see that like light bulb go off in their head and be like, oh, I see what you're saying now, when you're just like, whatever. When a guy does a ridiculous movie, you're just like, whatever. I've seen it a million fucking times. It's whatever. So I don't know, just something I noticed I wanted to bring up. And
please don't ever feel like that's off the deep end or off topic. That's why we're here, is to rather discuss that than any current events.
Right. I guess
anything you could bring to the table like that is much more interesting to me than being like, it was a pretty good match.
And then, but then our watching Raw ended when, never mind the storyline, who cares? Dana Brooke came out, and I noticed that Dana Brooke doesn't even look like Dana Brooke anymore.
Good for her.
If you can convince me that it's a different person at this point. I look, do whatever you want. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not saying that.
Fantastic.
But
it doesn't look like an alien at all.
To me, she looks like a miniature version of Charlotte Flair.
Nice.
And I don't know when the last time you saw her, like she had work done, but she lost a ton of weight and a lot of muscle mass. So it's just like, now it's just big head, little body with the 24/7 title. And it's just like kind of what made her fun in the beginning when she was in NXT was the way that she looked and the way that she talked. And she was like this squat little beast, like muscly little monster. And now she looks like every other wrestler that you've seen ever. And it's whatever. I mean, it made me turn the channel.
I'm into it. You know what? I don't care about Randy Orton. I'm going to watch for Dana Brooke now. That's
good. Go ahead and do that.
You'll me on it.
Well, go ahead. Waste your time.
All right, more WWE. So we're getting close to WrestleMania. I guess it's a month away. So I'll say a couple things and then let's hear your anticipation level. 1, Becky Lynch broke her voice box. She was in the hospital. Brandon, does this make you want to watch WrestleMania?
Not just any hospital. I think she got jammed up in the Lehigh Valley and then the Einstein Health Network.
Nice.
No.
It was in Allentown, PA at a house show on a Sunday night competing against Revolution. So, I don't imagine the crowd was huge.
Yeah. She's breaking her voice box over fucking 250 people in Allentown. Chris, go
Well,
ahead.
I can make a prediction about this whole situation because that
Yes,
happened. She's going to pay off her medical bills, and then like a year and a half later, she's going to get more medical bills that she didn't know that she had, and she's going to have to pay with them or fight them on those medical
Einstein.
bills.
Nice.
With Einstein, yes.
Good.
Rebilling.
Is that from personal
No.
experience?
Oh no, it's from secondary personal experience. Somebody I know dealt with that. I've never been to an Einstein hospital, so
I only go to Einstein hospitals because they sound smart.
yeah,
That's it.
Einstein.
Next up, Stone Cold Steve Austin will be appearing at WrestleMania. Stoked or unstoked, Brandon?
The most stoked I could get off of something so simple.
Chris, are you excited? He's
I
definitely not wrestling, right?
He called him out, said he was going to open up a can of whoop ass on his ass.
Yeah, but that could just be a
Afternoon.
kicking a dick, and a
Yeah, I mean, I would assume he's not wrestling, but did you see the promo he cut today?
Yeah, I did. It was
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
You don't talk about Texas.
Uh,
Texas, you don't talk about Texas. Texas is a great state, Texas.
I think it's going to be a
Not
rest.
Oh, he cut a lousy promo. Oh no!
No,
good.
it just
Yeah,
was.
that
It
was
was
good.
just. It wasn't a lousy promo. It just
Whatever.
kind of was like. It was no wait. As far as promos go, he cut a
Fine.
good promo. As far as it getting me excited, as far as it having that level that they used to have, it's got the level of a 60-some-year-old Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean,
That's right.
cool, whatever. Yeah, I agree with you. It's probably going to be a match that ends very quickly.
yes,
Um,
or it's not going to be a match. It's going to be the KO show and then a kicking a dick and a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, that's about it. So
But
we'll
I'm
see.
just interested in how many beer tosses he'll get in, how good the throws are, how good the catches are, how much beer will be poured over his head. That's what I'm excited
How
about.
much? Yeah,
And
that's
if
same
they-
here. You know what I'm excited for? The breaking glass.
Every
That's
once
it.
in a while,
And the walk down.
every once in a while, end of the night on the weekend, just pull up a YouTube highlight comp of just the insane from the crowd beer tosses to Stone Cold and the smooth ass catches.
Catch,
Whew.
crack, drink, catch. He catches like 3.
Just
Like,
barely
Jesus
looking.
Christ,
Just
dude.
How?
loving it.
So
Go ahead.
being a jiu-jitsu practitioner, drilling and having fluidity in your moves, being able to do things without thinking, the trick to that is the saying, the goofy saying is drillers are killers in jiu-jitsu. I want to know how he drilled those beer tosses.
He just
went in his yard and was like, Hey, Deborah, check me some bears.
You think he's
And then
just
she
going to the
missed
batting
one throw and
cages?
he slapped her. Go
And
ahead.
he slapped her in the face and she got divorced.
Brandon, go ahead.
Hey,
I knew that was coming.
Not-
I knew I
not-
could only get so.
International Women's
Not-
Day. Don't hit women. Good.
not my Stony. You think he just went to the batting cages and just loaded it up with Cord Light and was just getting them ripped at him?
Core Light.
Ripped out of it 60 miles an hour.
Or did they use that football thing? That's probably what they used. That one, the two wheels.
Yeah.
Didn't Peyton Manning throw a football back at it, or was it? Tom
No,
Brady?
it was Tom Brady, and it was so fake.
It's
Yeah,
fake.
I mean, he was putting out videos on his Instagram that I don't want to say they were fake, because that implies that you were supposed to believe that he really did it. I don't think anybody was supposed to believe that he really did it. It was just a cool, neat video that they put out.
Right.
Because had introduced this special effects guy and all. It was just like fucking, it's like when they called pro wrestling, oh, isn't that rigged? No,
Yes, it's
that would be implying that it's like not a television show. It's a real
Right.
sport, and
That's
we're
right.
all in the dark.
Yeah.
Rigged.
All right, so we all got gathered together at Chris's house. We ordered some calzones, and we watched AEW's Revolution. And I forgot to mention, because we're going to talk a lot about how the internet went crazy over certain things during the show. So WWE had an MSG show, and the internet got really stoked on the main event of Brock Lesnar versus a mystery opponent. People who couldn't watch the show, were not at the show, were saying online that they were constantly refreshing their feed to find out who he was going to face, because it could be Cody. It could be Cody. It was Austin Theory. Brandon thoughts.
Yeah, that's one of those guys that's like, if you asked me to tell you what he looked like, that would have to take a minute. So tough sledding over there.
Chris.
Yeah, it's a house show, guys. Come on. Do
There were
something.
a couple of
Didn't they
psychos
do
that
some
got,
like
like, nuts.
insanely didn't they do some like insanely low number for MSG? Like
We could look it up.
I saw something that I saw Meltzer was saying that at the day of the show they had sold like 8,000 tickets, which they had to be taking a bath on that.
It was a Friday night in New York City. Who the fuck's going to MSG for wrestling? You know what I mean?
Oh,
To go see Austin Theory.
Brock Lesnar versus Austin Theory. Let me just add
It's
this
not
real quick.
It's not the hottest product in town. That's for sure.
We did that
Okay,
to go
Chris.
see Madison Square Taven, but hey,
Yeah,
who's
that was
talking?
awesome.
Let me just add this,
Chris,
Jim,
go ahead.
before you forget, because you're leaving out a key point of Sunday night, and you're coming over. They weren't Calzones, Jim. They were fucking
were the
Batman Calzones.
The Batman.
The Batman Calzones. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
the
just
Batman.
you're
That's what I
just
meant
saying
by that.
Calzone. It's two totally different things. Because remember
Yeah, they're yours.
the fake ricotta, the quotation marks,
The cheese
ricotta
product.
cheese like product was
Uh-huh.
in one of the Batman's ears.
And his tail.
And
It's
his tail.
delicious.
Mhm.
I'm getting another one right now. I'm ordering it right now. Forget the gym. All right, let's talk about
I
this.
was just happy to see your face today because according to tombstonecreator.com or whatever it was, I saw that Bim Lardani had passed away outside of the Little Caesars trying to do some calzone negotiations. So
Should we tell that story?
fake news online. Yeah,
We can tell that story.
that was fun.
100%. It made my night.
So the closest place to Chris's house to get a Little Caesars on the way is in a town called Camden, New Jersey, just on the outskirts of Camden. Camden doesn't have a great reputation. I'm from Philadelphia. I've grown up in Philadelphia. I've seen some shit, so I know what I'm looking at. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not scared. What am I scared of? So, I'm driving through. I'm listening to some music. I'm like, dude, I'm listening to XPN. I'm jamming out to some blues radio.
Little
or
guided
whatever
by
the hell it was.
voices.
Little voices. A little Phoebe Bridgers. Whatever. I'm cruising through, and then I pull up to I got my Waze going. It's telling me where I'm going. It's a pretty straight shot. But as I'm cruising through this area, which is, it's not a big city. It's a small city, like the suburbs. So there's shopping centers on either side, and they all got their fast food joints. And as I pull up to this one shopping center with the Little Caesars, as soon as I get to the left turn, I see these three dudes just hanging out front. Now, being that I am pretty quote unquote street smarts, I know what they're doing. They're just trying to make a buck. I'm not going to hate on them. Whatever. You do what you got to do. You make some money.
Push a little kratom.
Yeah. I also understand that being in the business that they're in, they don't like commotion. They don't like to draw attention to themselves while they're working. So some of the safest places, and Chris, you'll concur with me, some of the safest places to go is a place where there's an open market, quote unquote, outside, because they don't want problems, because that brings cops. But
Yes.
I made the left turn into the shopping center, and for some reason I decided to accelerate out of control in my black car, and I whip around. A truck's coming out. I had a bunch of men, I would loosely call them men. They were like 18, 19 years old, walking towards the car with their hands on their hips. So I pull into the parking lot, stop the car, and I'm now like, whoa. But, calm, cool, and collected. Turn the car off, look at my phone, pretend I'm looking at something, put it in my pocket, zip up, roll my windows up, and get out. Go into the Little Caesars, which is manned by no one. There's no one in the place. There's two weirdos.
Sorry, fellas. I don't want no guff. I'm just a calzone head.
I'm just a calzone man.
The Batman Calzone.
I'm not interested in your product. I'm interested in this product. I go in, you scan your phone. There's a code. So I'm scanning. At first, I'm like, how the fuck do I get my pizza? I'm looking at this thing. Just scan the code. So I'm like, oh, let me check my email. I get a code. So I'm scanning the code. This thing is opening so slow. And in my head is inside. I'm sweating profusely. The outside, I just got like a casual face going on. Slowly opens up. I jam my hands, rip the pizzas out. I'm going, I don't know, you get this thing out. Pull the pizzas out. I get my crazy bread. I forget my 2 liter of soda. Fuck that.
You hear that, Chris? Pizzas, he calls them.
Pizzas. Sorry, calzones.
The
Batman Calzony.
Man.
The Batman Calzones. I reach in, I grab them out. I walk back to the car, start the car up. I can smell that some of the grease has already gotten on my upholstery in my car, but I don't care at this point because I'm just trying to live. And I slowly pull out this time because I don't want these guys to think I'm a cop or trying to steal them, rob them, or trying to shoot them. And I leave, make the left turn. And as soon as I get in the highway, I am just fucking laughing my ass off. Like, ooh, that's terrifying. There you go. It's quite the adventure. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I said to Jim or I guess it was Sunday night, I couldn't think of and I like Jim, but I couldn't think of a funnier thing that could happen than Jimmy being executed out in front of a Little Caesars trying to acquire Batman, or perhaps like falling on top of 2 Batman Calzones.
Covered in blood.
Not to get correct.
Covered in blood. Chris, thoughts?
I mean, they were Batman Calzones. Maybe he could have taken the Batman Calzones and hurled them at them like the Batarangs.
Maybe if I shined the light at the Batman Calzone, it would have reflected the bat signal up into the sky. And then he would have showed up. The Batman would have showed up and stopped the killing that was happening.
Of the Jimmy.
Is that it? We're moving on? Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
There you go. Okay, let's talk about the show. So pre-show, I'm gonna blow through these real fast. Brandon wasn't there for most of this, I don't think. I'm just gonna all the pre-show matches. I'm just gonna go through them. Layla Hirsch surprisingly beat Chris Statlander in 9-10 minutes. Hook defeated, what is his name?
QAnon
Marsh Alex Jones by submission in 5 minutes. And the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews defeated Penta Obscuro, and as was revealed on Rampage, I believe, Eric Redbeard.
Yeah,
showed
Rampage.
Yeah. 6-man tag match. So there you go. There's your pre-show matches. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah. Did we ever hear if what's his face Penta is all right? It seemed like
I'll take a look into it. But go ahead.
I missed the beginning of. I missed the Layla Hirsch match. I was happy to see her win. Just as an active fan, I think of the first podcast episode, and us agreeing to do a podcast. I think Layla Hirsch. So I have some sentimental investment in her career. Other than that, yeah, I hopped in for the end of the tag match, and it seemed pretty funky, and it looked like it had something to do with Buddy Mathis botching the hell out of some sort of a knee stomp.
He was doing like a curb stomp, and he got weird, and then all of a sudden everybody was standing around like, ugh. And Eric Redbeard took the pin. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, so the Layla Hirsch had a good ending. She cracked Chris Statlander, and she found under the ring, I believe, the turnbuckle connector. So the thing with the 2 hooks on it that you tighten. Yeah. Something that might actually be under the ring, not a, I don't know,
kendo stick.
Kendo stick. Sure. There you go. Hit her with that. That was pretty good. And I think after last night, I think that curb stomp, that if this is what happened, first of all, I think that curb stomp that Buddy Matthews or whatever the hell his name is, uses is fucking stupid. It's not cool at all. And if Penta's out, I think the wrestling world is Penta benefits the wrestling world much more than Buddy Matthews. If we lost Penta because of that, if he was concussed because of that move, fucking get rid of it. It looked like something was wrong when he was doing that move, when he was setting it up. If you remember that match, it took him way too long to set it up. It was really weird. Everything got kind of clunky, and then the next thing you know, the match was like, "What's going on here?"
Maybe Penta got hurt before the.
Maybe.
Possible.
It was just odd. It was so odd. But we haven't, like you said, we don't know anything about Penta. And if he is injured, they'll tell us Wednesday.
Yeah, they usually do.
They usually let you know that shit, which is pretty cool about AEW. We're like, oh, so and so's injured, not, their major player. Then all of a sudden off television for 6 months, and the whole storyline's changed.
Like Asuka was injured in the summertime, and we haven't heard an update except from her. And Meltz is saying all kinds of stuff, and she's telling them to shut up. Literally.
They're saying that Asuka is she's they're saying she's not attractive enough to be in the main event, so they took her out and put Becky Lynch in.
Blasphemer! Don't ever say that again.
I didn't say it. That was Meltz.
One of the
through my house
themes of this night that no one seems to be talking about all that much. And the more I think about it, just since we're now 2 days away, is how many fucking screw ups there were in the show. And it started, I think, with this one, where this definitely looked like a screw up just by the way that people were acting in the ring during the pinfall. So let's check that up. That's one screw up during the show. Shall we move on to the main event? Let's do it.
The main event?
Yes, all
main
of it.
card.
Main card. Whatever. Who cares? This is
Well,
my
I
main
mean, I don't know. You were going to the main event. I don't know, whatever.
We'll go in chronological order. Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. Eddie Kingston wins by submission with Brandon. It was called the stretched plum. Brandon, thoughts?
We're getting charged by the minute over here. We're cutting right to the main event. Way too much time up talking Calzony. Yeah, this was, you said Jericho versus Kingston?
Yes.
Stretch plum? Yeah, interesting move. Happy to see that this finally turned this way for Eddie Kingston. Jericho loses absolutely nothing by doing so. I thought it was a decent. Sorry if you can. This dog's already crying.
Okay.
She's so fucking
know what's
hot on
going
my
on.
lap. It's like a fresh calzone sitting. It's like I just got a couple calzones. I just out of the oven sitting on me.
That's the noise my butt was making trying to get the Calzone out.
When you finally crapped it out, did you look at the toilet? Just a big nice bat signal.
Yeah.
Sitting in the bowl.
It was a question. There was a
oil.
question.
Yeah, question mark.
It was a question mark.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Oh God. The stupidest commentary you could possibly give. I thought this was pretty good. I don't know.
Right.
We're getting going at this point. I'm having a little bit of lukewarm Calzone. Onward.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah. I could take or leave this.
There we
I'm
go.
I'm glad we talked about it. Eddie Kingston needed to win this match. His character was just like he would just be loser dude if he lost to 3 straight like quote unquote legends in a row. So, I'm glad. But this match, I didn't even need this on the card, to be honest with you.
So Jericho basically is like, yeah, okay, I won't shake your hand. So there's your story coming out of it.
I just couldn't do it.
Sorry.
Sorry, I can't.
Sorry,
I can't.
Sorry. I'm a dickhead that won't shake your hand, but I'm a nice enough guy to say sorry.
To Chris's point, it's probably worth asking ourselves as we go through these, like how many of these would have been a good cable television main event versus
There's one
adding
right there.
another hour to a pay-per-view.
Yeah, agreed.
that's
Although the Eddie
one
Kingston
right
win
there.
was good. That was a good moment because he was like, did I win? I can't. I'm sorry. I can't shake your hand. I'm sorry. Let's move on. 3-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Jurassic Express, who were the champs, versus Red Dragon versus the Bucks. Jurassic Express wins, which I think we all unanimously selected to be the one title that switched hands, or at least one of the titles we thought would switch hands. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I think like what Chris was referencing earlier about a story versus the moves. This is one of the matches that was about the moves, right? Some quality wrestling in the middle. I got a kick out of Luchasaurus once again being the least one of the worst mental wrestlers of all time. He's always just getting duped. Other than that,
He's a dinosaur, man. He's not that smart.
Dude.
He's got the brain the size of a pea, Brandon.
Yeah.
He's a stegosaur.
He hasn't even he hasn't evolved into a bird yet.
Apparently, those guys are supposed to have feathers. That's news for me. But
I know.
Well, he doesn't
besides
have
that,
any, he doesn't
kinda
have any.
like
So that just shoots all that science down the tubes.
Good.
Yeah, you're kind of just hanging on, wondering if the Young Bucks are greedy enough to take this back. They let it go, but continue to kind of try to make the show about them in the interim. So,
yeah, let me just chime in a little bit here. We got story. What are you talking about? We got story. We got Red Dragon and Young Bucks going, hey, man, you're not supposed to do that to me. You're supposed to do it to me. You did it to me. You do it to you. I'm not doing it. We're supposed to look out for each other. You see, in a 3-way. Chris, thoughts?
All right. So to your point, right? This has been going on for weeks with those guys. And then now it's going to go on through a pay-per-view. And we're not getting a pay-per-view for a couple months. So now this is going to go on even longer. And one of those fucking times where AEW decides that it's actually going to tell a story, and this is the one they select they're going to put their time into.
Mhm.
A fucking lower card fucking tag teams. Like, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of wrestling, I mean, people love the Young Bucks. I love Red Dragon. I'm not a huge tag team fan, but if you were to get me to pick out one tag team on that show that I would call my favorite, it would be Red
The
Dragon.
Ass Boys.
No. And but we're going to use those two guys. People love the Young Bucks, but if Red Dragon disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, I don't think anybody would even fucking notice. I mean, and no knock on them. They're just, I mean, Kyle O'Reilly's fun to watch. Bobby Fish, we were talking last week about how awesome he is as far as just being an entertainer, right? Got a great look. He looks like a dickhead. He acts like a dickhead, and he can work. And if they disappeared tomorrow, nobody would, you would be like 10 years down your road, you'd be like, yo, who are those two dudes? Nobody gives a shit. So
Right.
Whatever.
So I guess the
I
story
don't
is
fucking
going.
care.
We're going to keep going with the story between Red Dragon and the Bucks. And we thought maybe Jungle Boy would get a singles run, but it seems like he's sticking with the old Stegosaur, the feathered Stegosaur. Any final thoughts?
I think
on this match,
that
Brandon?
I think that spot, the Young Bucks early in the card tag team match, has kind of dictated these pay-per-views the last couple of times, where when that drags and it's 20 minutes early and we're not that interested in it, that vibe kind of is set through the rest of the evening.
Right.
Whereas when it was really good, they had the Lucha Bros match that was bananas. I think that stuck with me. So.
Oh, that's right. The Luchasaurus, I think, spin kicked a spray can out of one of the Jackson's hands. It looked like he missed.
Something.
At best.
So number 2 on weirdness that happened in the middle of the match, where you're just like, I don't know
Not
what
the
happened. It's weird.
Not to nitpick, but not the middle. The last 10 seconds of the match was like,
Oh,
whoa.
middle of the match. Sorry, the end of the match. It was the same with the other one. End of the
That
match.
was, it was the finish.
Sorry. Both were the finish. I don't know why. I said
Yeah. But it was like, that's how important it is.
Yeah,
It wasn't
so
like,
all eyes are
look
on
at it that way. Yeah, it wasn't the middle. It wasn't even the end. It was the fucking finish.
Yeah, there was no
And they
recovery.
fucked it up.
Sorry, that was
10-second clip you
that was
post
bad
online.
wordplay by me. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
That's the 10-second clip that you post online to be like, oh my God, this is how it ended. That is even washed now because you can't really figure out what the fuck was going on. At best, he was trying to kick an aerosol can, and I'm not sure if he hit it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Face of the Revolution ladder match for the future AEW TNT Championship match. Wardlow versus Christian Cage versus Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy versus the Powerhouseman versus Ricky Starks. Wardlow wins. Go ahead, Brandon.
Chris, you got to go first on this one because as soon as I read this match, I'm thinking of you yapping about how much Keith Lee sucks.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No. Well, what I was laughing about was Chris Lee. Did he come in? He was like, hey, what are my kids doing running around this house like this?
I have no idea who that is.
The Chris Lees. Chris Lee knows back. That just made me laugh. I'm sorry. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast, you know who Chris Lee is.
Sorry.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into that because we're going to have plenty of time over the next few months, I'm sure, for me to moan about Keith Lee. But you know what I did during this match? I looked at my phone. There's my review.
Brandon, thoughts?
I thought this was actually kind of fun. One, I was laughing at watching Chris obliterate Keith Lee or call him something of Othello. Nothing racist there. I wasn't trying to imply anything.
No, it's the
Shakespeare. I can't remember what it was. But other than that, I think there was a couple camera botches that we got a kick out of there. When there was a spot outside the ring and then they cut back in and Christian, instead of just very easily winning the championship, is like trying to jam a ladder in between two other ladders and the ropes. And they just let that roll for like 4 or 5
Why are we? I think I said, like, why are we watching this? Like, what? Why did he just go up the ladder? What's going on here?
I think I'm always like a little disappointed. I think they had the spot where all 6 guys were at the the hemorrhoid pad, and nobody came down with it, which is just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We're really trying to milk this. There was some fun besides that, though. Go ahead.
It was fun. Orange Cassidy was fun. Keith Lee threw Orange Cassidy, and as anybody that's played baseball knows, when a high fly goes to the outfield, especially in the outfield, you always take 2 steps back, and then you can run forward. It's easier to run forward than it is to run back. Keith Lee threw Orange Cassidy, cleared both of the guys that were supposed to catch him. Also, I know you guys didn't feel this way, but I thought that the power bomb on Ricky
Lost you
Starks
for a second there, Jim.
Did you? Maybe
Yeah, you froze up.
I heard
That's right,
I heard only guys that catch him, but
That's fine. I'll just say it over again. So one thing that you guys didn't stick, like something I noticed and you guys didn't necessarily stick by or agree with me, was when Ricky Starks took the power bomb for the finish from Wardlow. I think Ricky Starks' feet got stuck or something because he just came falling down on that ladder with no protection whatsoever except for his own hands. So let's mark that up to, let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, 3 matches with finishes that included something weird that was not intentional, including the Keith Lee. Let's throw that in there too. That's 4. Keith Lee throwing Orange Cassidy and clearing everyone and almost dying. Brandon, thoughts on this?
Again,
Final thoughts on this match.
You're being polite, saying power bomb and feet got stuck. He just dropped his ass off the ladder directly onto his back, onto another ladder.
Yeah. Chris, final thoughts?
No, I mean, I said he definitely botched. Somebody botched something there. I don't know who it was. It definitely was unintentional. Like you said, he picked them up and then just kind of dropped them. I'm sure Ricky Starks got his hands behind his head. That's what I was saying when he did that. Mm-hmm. That was probably the plan all along. Like, you could power bomb me on this. If I get my hands behind my head, I can absorb the impact, but that's not the way he was supposed to land.
No, he pretty much just fell.
That's not something you practice, you know.
You can't. You just do it. So
yeah, there you go. Next up, singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. 6.5, 7 minutes. This match went. This was definitely we were trying to figure out what the bathroom break match was, and I think we conceded this would be it. Jade Cargill, the champ, beat Ty Conti. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I think the most memorable part of this match happened before it even started, right? We get a big stinky smooch out of nowhere.
That was great.
And then I think everyone's trying to recover for about 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and we got about 30 seconds of wrap up after that. So
right. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. Smooch. Nobody cares about that karate shit.
That was that was leading into it. That promo was fucking awesome. That was great.
Jade Cargill basically just treating Smart Mark Sterling like shit and yelling at him all the time. But other than that, bathroom break.
She's pretty fucking cool, man. I'm sorry. On team.
No, listen.
Jade Cargill. I fucking love her.
This is the situation. We talked about this before, and I was thinking about it. They put her in a situation where she's going to have to wrestle, if not every weekend, every week, every other week, at least, in a championship match, right? But you see what they're doing. They're doing the right thing. They don't have her tearing through the women's division. They have her on TV beating the shit out of fucking local talent. And then, so that's it. I mean, I don't really think she's ever going to be in a position in which she's really going to have to sell. I mean, is it safe to say that if not, she's verging on giant?
Yeah, she is. I mean, she's definitely the biggest person in that division.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, I think she's clunky as hell, but I never said she didn't have all the other tools that she.
I'll say she's greater than Britt Baker right now in my eyes. She's the face of the women's division. Britt Baker's secondary at best.
I know
I think AEW. I think Jade Cargill. That's what I think of.
I think a lot of people in that stadium, they're like, "Oh, Britt Baker," would disagree with you. I'm not. I personally think you're right.
Yeah. Brandon, thoughts? Good.
Yeah, one storyline coming out of this, if you're a Wrestling Observer newsletter fan, when you think Luthez / Ric Flair award winner, not most outstanding wrestler winner, she's now tied Habib Nurmagomedov's record in the UFC at 29-0. If she gets to 30-0, I think she's got a clear shot.
That'll be on the next. That'll be on the next poll. Who is a better? Who is a more dominant wrestler? Ground combatant, grappling combatant. Is it Jade Cargill at 29-0 or Khabib Nurmagomedov at 29-0?
Nice.
That I've been getting dragged around like I've got a dog collar on with Jade Cargill. I was Team Cargill, and then I got talked out of her. Now I'm out of her. You guys are back in on her, so
I'm in.
Listen,
I got to back to basics here.
You're assuming with me that you're because I agree with the fact that you think AEW women's division, you think of her, and then you would think of Britt Baker being slightly below Jade Cargill in terms of like excitement level, but that excitement level to me is still very low. You understand what I mean? Like, you're just saying, like, because I picked one over the other, that means one's high. Nah, they're both pretty low in my book.
Yo, shut up with that karate shit.
Chris, I wouldn't assume something like that of you.
Yeah, you would, and you did it, and you assumed I wouldn't invite you to your house if there was nobody else here. You said it on the podcast 2 weeks, and guess what? I still invited you, but there was people here, so I don't know where I'm going with this.
I was just trying to sneak a little dog collar segue in. But
okay.
Well done. I was assuming that I wouldn't be in a life or death situation trying to pick up a Calzony. Batman Calzone.
You're selling it short, Jim. The Batman Calzony. You don't understand this, dude.
Very important. Dog collar match. CM Punk versus MJF. 27 minutes almost. CM Punk wins by pinfall. Brandon, good.
Yeah, last week I got on here and was pretty gassed up about some potential ways they could go with this that were immediately spoiled, given that they didn't go in any of those directions. I think for a slow, brooding 27-minute match, this was probably the most invested in anything I was all night. One thing I want to mention during this match is someone that I think is, probably in the top few percentile of wrestling fans in 2022, but definitely not somehow still missing their fan base. I've seen the CM Punk documentary. I know what he wore when he was in the Indies. I recognize that. The theme song thing, I don't know the theme song. God forbid they just give us a little bit more of a cue in. I know someone mentioned that maybe they said something. I missed it, but it apparently wasn't enough. So it's like, just give me a little bit of context of what's happening in front of my face. Because if you want to jump beyond these hardcore fans, that little bit of detail would go a long way. That's shit that people that don't know what they're looking at would find really cool if you just say it to them in clear terms.
Chris, thoughts?
It's funny you said that. So they did say it, but they didn't say it loud enough. If you didn't hear it, then I just happened to catch it. It also doesn't help that I would think that most rooms of people watching that pay-per-view on Sunday looked like the room we were watching in, where you had a bunch of guys sitting around watching, a bunch of people sitting around watching. And as along with the watching of wrestling, it's telling dumb stories and laughing at each other's jokes. It's not directly, you're not so super focused on this, right? I mean, part of the reason why I was willing to, the part of the reason why I was excited, the big reason why I was excited to have to watch pay-per-view at my house is that everybody's going to come over, right? And so it was a hang. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. I heard, God, who was it that was, anyway, one of the things that they don't do in wrestling, I noticed anymore, there are very few, it's always like these characters that are telling stories. Everybody that's doing the announcing is just telling a story. If they kind of would go back to a straight play-by-play guy and then a color guy, and you had that color guy fill in the blanks, right? So the play-by-play guy, he calls all the moves, and the color guy comes in and he says what the feeling, what's going on, what he looks like, what he's doing. They've gotten away from that in wrestling. And I think if you went back to that, I think you would have an easier time explaining these storylines or things like this thing with CM Punk's music, right? Because if you didn't watch Ring of Honor, which, I'm sorry, in those days, nobody fucking watched Ring of Honor.
Apparently, this Get Up and that song were only available on a DVD or VHS. So it was a very small audience that would have known this.
So yeah, I mean, I remember I saw him once down at 2300. Well, back when it was still New Alhambra, Viking Hall, or whatever they were calling it at the time. I saw him in a really bad. It was 3PW
Viking Hall.
Yeah, it was Viking Hall because it was South Philly Vikings was the Mummers Brigade that worked out of it. So it was Viking Hall. I saw him there. Somebody had to remind me that's the level at which CM Punk was at the time. I had no idea who it was, but I do remember him wearing similar gear with the basketball shorts and that stuff. But you're talking, God, almost 20 years ago.
I mean, whatever. It was cool.
It's cool. I liked it, and I liked it when they
get every nuance to enjoy something.
Right, but when they explained it to you, as soon as they explain it to you, you get the nuance.
Yeah, this is different than saying, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh, it's because you don't watch a YouTube channel. Well, that's bad. That's bad then. That's bad booking and a bad job. If it's a small reference to some shit that happened 25 years ago that, I don't know, 5% of the audience is going to lose their shit over, cool, good for them. Then when I ask somebody, they can be like, oh, it's from this thing. You should go check it out. Okay, cool. I'll go check it out. What I'm saying is that people are saying that you're not a true wrestling fan if you don't get it. I'm seeing a little gatekeeping online. I wanted to talk about how weird people are being online about this pay-per-view. They're saying that if you don't get it, it's not for you. No, that's not how this works. If you don't get it, here's what it is, and this is where you can. The internet is forever. It's streaming somewhere. Here's a link to the match. Come on, man. It was fine. I thought it was fine. The match itself was cool.
May I add?
Yeah, Brandon. Oh, you want to add? Go.
Well, no, just to what you said.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, and I know this isn't what AEW is doing, but if you're gonna assume that it's something like if you don't know what it is, then it's not for you. Then you know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Eventually, you're the one saying that. They're gonna get so refined in these little things that they do that you, the one dude that's saying that, is the only one that's gonna get it, and your fucking favorite wrestling company is gonna go out of fucking business.
It was just one time thing.
Cunt.
Yeah, your thought process on it, Jim, is exactly right. I think, and again, this is minor shit. I'm not trying to eat them alive over this compared to like the BTE stuff. What you said, I'm asking myself, why wouldn't they do that? It's cool. It's cool that happened, right? We can agree on that was cool. They own the rights to Ring of Honor. Instead of having to cross their fingers and hope they have Jimmy next to them or someone that watched that, why don't you just tip them off to the upcoming Ring of Honor library that's going to be there and explain that shit to someone? I spend a lot of time watching things I'm really interested in with people that aren't interested in them. The least I can do is explain to them why this isn't compelling or rare or different. Like, just toss that in there for me. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Also, we didn't mention that Tony Khan last Wednesday announced that he bought Ring of Honor, or at least the library is his, and he's going to revitalize it, rejuvenate it, relaunch it. Not really sure what he's going to do. We forgot to mention that. Pretty good.
That's right. Yeah, that did happen last week.
Yeah. So I guess we will get access to this video eventually. He's not really sure when or how he's going to be able to make it available to the public, but he's working on that. But when it comes to
they didn't announce any HBO piece of this.
They didn't.
That's still conjecture.
They're still trying to it's conjecture. They're still trying to figure out how they're going to make it available to the public.
HBO Max, HBO, and a number of networks. I mean, like 20 are all changing ownership. So to think that you could peg it down, like anybody will be able to peg it down as to where that's like, if anybody says that, it's going to HBO Max, and like now that's up for sale. It's all a guess. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's saying that, right? They were, that was like, it would make sense. Well, we talked about it.
Yeah, it would make sense it would make sense, but now it makes no sense because it's going to be a different owner.
Right.
So everything's going to get wiped clean. And it would be the same thing that happened with WCW when AOL Time Warner bought Turner. They didn't want wrestling anymore.
Right.
We don't care if it makes money. We don't want it.
Hopefully it'll be on the Bleacher Report app.
You know what I was thinking?
Yeah, good.
Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi's a good one.
Free. When I went through
high quality, it looks good. It looks not bad on there. I mean, I watch older shit, but
when I was living in South Philly, I didn't have cable. I had the antenna, and we would watch a lot of these bad movies on like movies TV, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they would just insert commercials. Like they wouldn't even, like, a guy would just say like, it was Joe that robbed the bank commercial. And you're like, what? Like, you didn't even wait for the scene to end. Tubi has a good job of putting the commercials. I think I said this before. They're putting the commercials where they belong.
Right.
Right. Like even on the TV shows, when I watch Lucha Underground, then there's a commercial. It's just like watching it on TV. But they have a ton of weird.
I fucking love Tubi.
They have a bunch of weird wrestling DVDs on there, like CZW shit and Kevin Owens. They have an old MJF one on there. It's really strange. Like I was really
they
odd
signed
to
up
find
with
it.
RF Video, bro. You got that RF Video.
Maybe they did.
All right, let's talk about the actual match. It was awesome. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I saw some people complaining that
Really?
this was too slow, or that the pacing was bad.
I thought it was great.
I think that that's inherently how a dog collar match is designed to be. Within that, they had some fun spots. Like I think probably the most memorable to me was MJF give me the fucking mic, and he stands up and starts to, I forget what he started to say, and CM Punk steps in, the red mask on, but just yanks him, and the mic goes flying 30 feet, and you're just like, oh, that's good. Like that's just pure entertainment right there. I think those two work very well together and brought out the best in each other.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was a good match. They worked it. It's a dog collar match. It ain't supposed to be full of fucking high spots. You want to die?
Yeah,
chains getting wrapped up and shit. There was a few times where Punk had to guide him under the ring ropes, right?
Yeah, the whole time I was watching, it was like I was terrified that someone was gonna accidentally get wrapped up in the chain. It was a real chain. The thing was heavy as shit.
Yeah. The only mistake that I think that AEW made, as far as I was concerned, was, and I know you can't control this, but the bloody mess that CM Punk was on, I believe, last Wednesday night, when you came to Sunday night, you're getting CM Punk as a bloody mess again. And they could have done away with the bloody mess on TV and just thrown him beaten. Because then you're getting into reruns at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I thought both were pretty cool.
I just thought that they stacked the bloody mess. It didn't have as much of an impact.
More. Give me more.
Do it next week, and next week, and next week. And fucking next bloody mess is gonna be you with Batman the Batman Calzonis or whatever they're called.
Bullet holes in it. Calzony. The Batman Calzony.
It is the Batman Calzony. It's probably bulletproof, Jim.
I would imagine it's got enough.
That's why you would have it.
Bullets would just grease off it.
That's why you would have it. That's why it's pizza colored, so it gives your enemy a target to shoot at, and then
that's right.
It's
just like Batman.
Just like Batman. Just like the Batman.
We get the Wardlow turn. He said he didn't have the ring to MJF, and then he suddenly found the ring in time for CM Punk to use it to pinky ring him in the face.
That ring's huge.
I know, it's so big. What finger is that fitting on? It's made out of rhinestones. He's a rhinestone cowboy.
It's a nice ring. Most Super Bowl rings are smaller than that ring.
Hold on. I was just going to tell you this. I have worn in my life, I've had 3 Super Bowl rings on my fingers. Yeah, 3 different teams.
That's pretty cool.
Well, come on, give me a little more deets.
So
I just gonna drop that knowledge. I in my life eat more than
what the hell we've been talking about all night.
So my memory's so bad I can't remember. All right, so the first one was a guy by the name of Fred Baxter. He used to be a tight end for the Patriots.
I know him.
He's coming to the bar. No, he's coming to the bar where I worked at, and with his wife, and he got a Super Bowl ring, and I said, "Can I see it?" And he said, "Sure." And then I said, "Can I?" He said, "You want to touch it?" And I said, he said, "You want to wear it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you ever win a Super Bowl?" And I said, well, "No," just like that. And he was like, "No, then you can't do it." And then he let me wear it. He played for the Patriots. He was a special teamer. Now the second guy, I can't remember his name. But he
Tom
played
Brady.
he was a linebacker for the Niners when they beat San Diego. So I think that's
Bill
94.
Romanowski.
No. And I wore his. He let me wear his. And there's a friend of mine who's a Philadelphia Eagle who let me wear his. So that was it.
Tony Franklin.
Sure, why not? It was Tony Franklin, and it was
Brandon, why don't you have any questions for Chris about his multiple extensive knowledge of wearing Super Bowl rings?
not knowledge, just experience.
Knowledge.
Experience.
Know the ledge.
We're looking up the defense. I'm not
Defense.
gonna be able to get it. The 49ers defense in the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna rattle off some names, but it wasn't Ken Norton Jr., was it, by any chance? You would have remembered
No,
that.
it wasn't. I don't think he was on that team.
Were they notably more impressive as time passed? Meaning, like
Yeah.
they got pretty nuts at around.
Yeah,
2000.
they got really big, but the Dynamite Diamond Ring is bigger than all of them.
More.
So I'm saying, like,
important,
when he put it on his hand, it's so big, it almost fell off. You could
Yeah,
see
it was
the
fishing.
gap on
He
TV.
was
You could see
swimming
the
through
gap
it.
on his.
Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Dr. Britt Baker with Jamie Hayter and Rebel defeated Thunder Rosa via pinfall. Brandon. What?
Right back. I'm playing shortstop. It's going right to me every time. I think we got into this. I mean, we were a little bit concerned at the beginning about how Thunder Rosa had a half a diaper on or something. I'm not sure
I don't know what was going on there.
what type of padding she had around her left leg. But this was a lot of fun for the moment. The moment passed fairly quickly, and we left ourselves scratching our heads as to like what was next. And this was once the tag title didn't flip, we were like, this has got to be the one that flips. Thunder Rosa deserves this 10 times over. They don't go that way once again. So there's a little bit of frustration that probably marred some of my memory of the match itself. But Thunder Rosa, especially in that big spot, gear looks fucking awesome, rises to the occasion. Britt Baker didn't look as gassed as we'd mocked her for in the past. I'll give it to them. This was entertaining.
They got to do more matches in Florida in the wintertime, or else Britt Baker's going to get gassed out and dehydrated and not be able to move.
That's right.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that this was the one that I really, if they were to change one title, it was this title. I think you're in a position now in which now you have a woman who has beaten your entire women's roster. Everything that you do after this now is reruns. They couldn't beat her before, but now we're supposed to believe they have a chance to beat her again. Eventually it's not even like, somebody working their job as a heel so well that you can't stand to see her on TV. It's that I've seen this on TV so many times that I need something new. And now you've gotten yourself in a position that you've gone through your entire women's roster. The match to determine the number one contender again that's coming on Wednesday is going to
we'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, you want to get to it? Okay, so we'll pass by it. All right, go ahead. Okay.
So theoretically, so Thunder Rosa lost on Rampage this week, or Dynamite, I don't remember. It was Rampage. Hikaru Shida showed up and beat the shit out of the Professor with her stick. So she cracked her in the side of the head. Now I'm starting to think that we'll talk about the matches coming up this week in a little bit, but I'm starting to think that we're going to heat Shida up when she comes back. Shida would be your next. I think that if you heat her up enough, she could be the one that beats Britt Baker. We talked about it last week. When we were talking about it, real quick, let me just do this real quick.
Please.
When we were talking about the Meltzer thing last week, was that last week we were talking about Meltzer's awards?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Hikaru Shida didn't even show up on the awards for top 10 women wrestlers. Now, I honestly think she got a bad shake. She was the champ during fucking pandemic. She stayed here when no one was going to shows. She's gone home for a little injury. She's got some shows she's doing in Japan, and then she's going to be back, I think, in April to work. It would make sense to heat her up, have her beat some people on Dark, and then I could see her winning in the summertime at the pay-per-view. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was scrambling through the roster saying like they're dead in the water here. And what came to mind was I don't remember if I just passed it, didn't sink into my head, or they didn't mention it at all. Did they ever take the time to note why she was removed from the programming for an extended period of time? The only reason, and go ahead and answer after this, but the only reason I mention that is because right now it feels like there's nothing interesting going on. And when she comes back, it'll be a surprise.
You're talking about Cheetah, right?
Correct, yeah.
Right.
But had they just noted it, and if they did, then I'm gonna be the first one to admit that I'm wrong. Had they just noted, by the way, the old champ is dealing with business, and this what's the fuck's going on. When she pulls back in, it's like, oh shit, this is what we've been waiting for. Right now, I'm not really sure what we're waiting for, and I think that might be it. But
Serena Deeb took out her knee, and then she went home to rehab. She went to Japan to rehab. That's what they did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they showed photos on social media of her swollen knee, but that could have been from any time. Didn't have to be the new injury. You know what I mean? But she's been in Japan since then. Yeah. So she's been injured. She's doing she's got the big TJPW show. She's doing an ice ribbon show. And then I think she'll be back. She'll be back by the end of March. And she might be coming with some people from TJPW. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. It just seems that she's the next person. I don't think. All right, fuck it. We won't wait until the end. So we have a qualifier match on this week's Dynamite tomorrow. That the winner between Thunder Rosa, who lost, now suddenly gets a rematch. I don't care how she lost. She's just suddenly, you lose, you're supposed to fall to the back of the line, but she's facing Layla Hirsch, who's gone a bit of a streak, next week for number one contendership to Britt Baker's title. I'm thinking Layla Hirsch wins here, whether she cheats or whatever the fuck she does. It gives her someone new, Britt Baker, someone new to wrestle against. Maybe you're going for the Britt Baker face turn. I don't see that happening with Rebel and Jamie Hayter with her. But I don't know. This is an interesting little matchup. Chris, since you brought it up, go ahead. I'll let you go.
No, I find it strange as well. I mean, it's interesting to say that maybe Layla Hirsch wins this match and then gets a championship shot on TV. I don't see that happening. I mean, there's a million ways they can do it. She's a heel, so obviously there'll be some skullduggery, involved in there. But it's like what I was trying to say earlier is like you've gone through everything and you've painted yourself into a corner to where you get to this point and you're like, well, this is kind of weird, right? Like it's just like, what are we doing here? Is Thunder Rosa going to win and then win the title on TV?
Doesn't make sense. Why would you have her lose if you're going to have her make her win?
That's what I'm saying. It's just so, and then you had the perfect. If you're going to have her win, then have her win on the pay-per-view. So something happened.
You get a huge pop too.
Yeah, it's just a very odd situation. And honestly, like I said, how long has Britt Baker's been champion since
she won against Cheetah? So summertime, right?
Since summertime, Memorial Day weekend last year.
Is that what it was, or was it the Labor Day show?
No, we didn't do the Labor Day show. It was 9 million people peeing in my pool. That was this Labor Day. No, it was Memorial Day when we were watching, and it was because we were talking. It was May in Jacksonville, so it was damp and sweaty, and
was that the match? That was the.
I think that was the match. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what's up. It's just a weird, very odd.
Yeah, it's hit the spot. It's hit the spot where it's like where WWE goes all the time, where you're just like, it starts to look like they didn't know what they were doing the whole time, and that's where you start to scratch your head a little bit and go, uh-oh.
It was Double or Nothing, and it was, what date was that? It was May. Yeah, you're right. Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, because that Labor Day they were doing everything in Jacksonville.
That was it.
Remember they did that big tournament when they had like Yuka Sakazaki and Mai Suruga come over and just like they had one flat piss break match and never referenced any of them again. Like this it just starts to feel like no one's driving the train with this.
She did an interview where she said that they're relying less on the Japanese girls now than they were when they first started. Probably has a lot to do with travel. I'm sure they had lots of plans for a lot of people coming over, but travel's one of the things. Also, I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was on Rampage or Dynamite. There was a weird all Joshi match where they had like Emi Sakura and her crew versus Riho and her crew, and it was like they did like a comedy match, and man, that shit was not like, if you are not a big fan of comedy pro wrestling, that shit was corny as hell. Me, I thought it was that's cute, but I've seen it a million times. It was not good, and ever since then, we don't see like Ryo Mizunami over here anymore. She hasn't been back.
I think that's a lot of what I'm like. It's kind of rubbed me the wrong way about this, and then won't say anything else about this because this is going on for too long. But I in my career spent a lot of time working for a startup company, trying to make bad lies sound more reasonable, like bad information sound better. And I just don't think they do a good job of that, to the point where you're starting to scratch your head and go, what's the direction here if there is one?
Right. I just would like, maybe it's just my preference. And I've been complaining about this, and we've been saying it for weeks. We want Thunder Rosa to win. Why? Because it'd be more refreshing to get fresh matchups. Well, she fucking lost. So now we got Britt Baker. Do I want to watch her face Thunder Rosa again? Not really.
No.
Sure, if Thunder Rosa wins, I guess, why not do it on a pay-per-view? Instead, I'd like to see Britt Baker get screwed over by somebody like Layla Hirsch. I don't think she's going to lose. But Britt, like a more aggressive Layla Hirsch, because she's been way better since she's been legit heel, Layla Hirsch. And now she's got the Russia gear. There's people that are probably telling her she has to take it off because we're at war with the Russians are all evil. The people that live here are also evil. That's not true.
Well, I actually raised that question when we were watching I was like, oh, she wore a Russia gear, which I found out. And then I went, no, I don't. Why? Who cares? She is Russian. I mean,
she's not supposed to be like, I'm not Russian anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You still be proud of being somewhere because your government's doing something that might not be too nice.
Well, Jim, that just brings up bad thoughts, so I don't even want to see that right now. I'm trying to relax and watch wrestling.
Would that be considered? Because I'm a little clueless when it comes to this. Would that be considered wearing the Russian flag on your wrestling gear? Would that be a microaggression or a macroaggression? I'm just curious.
Microaggression.
Microaggression. Okay.
That's microaggression.
Just wondering.
A macroaggression would be wearing the Russian flag and saying, "I hope Ukraine dies."
That'd be a macro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ukraine.
No one's thrown out the potential for Cargill double champ.
That'd be amazing. I could see that. But then she'd have to give one up, and it definitely makes one the lesser title.
Yeah.
Which TBS definitely is. But also Ruby Soho sighting. She was on Dark. So maybe she was a little banged up. She wrestled. We talked about it when we were watching the pay-per-view that we haven't seen her in a while. She was wrestling Session Moth Martina, which you guys aren't familiar with, but she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun, so hopefully we get to see more of her. All right, let's move on. Singles match. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Jon Moxley wins with like a kind of a backwards thing and pins Bryan Danielson. More importantly, the true shock. Oh, before I even say this, Shane Strickland signed. We knew this going in because nobody can keep their fucking mouth shut in professional wrestling. So he comes out, he does like a not good promo, doesn't get much of a pop because everybody's at the toilet, and then walks off stage. Thoughts, Brandon?
Also, if you didn't know it, he didn't get much of a pop because Tony Schiavone waved the contract in front of the television screen where it's addressed to Swerve. So it just took any excitement that could have been there. He just popped 1 minute before the guy was about to show up. This is a tough one. I'm excited to see him wrestle. Didn't get put in a good spot here with the alignment of the signings.
Yeah.
And his, I guess, I don't know, fan base. And what the fuck was I gonna say?
I don't know, but maybe Go ahead.
Sorry, I just thought of it. This is my favorite AEW shit when I know enough to know there's got to be a decent percentage of these people that don't really know Shane Strickland, but he starts his Shane Strickland chant, Swerve's house or whatever it was, and it's like everybody, you could just feel the crowd going, "Oh, what's the chant? That's chant. Okay, I'll join in the chant. I'll join in the chant." The same with the Danhausen. Oh my God, it's it's Danhausen. Like anybody fucking has been into these people every week.
Maybe I did it out of order. Maybe I should have just finished off with our reveal at CM Punk versus, or not CM Punk, for John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. So anyway, Bryan Danielson, they fight. The match ends. Moxley's bleeding all over the fucking place, and out comes, surprise to everyone, surprise to us, surprise to apparently people backstage. No one saw him in there. Steven Regal comes out. He comes out. He gets in the ring, gets in Mox's face, gets in, slaps the shit out of Moxley. Bryan Danielson yucks it up like the fucking older brother watching his younger brother get yelled at by the dad. Then Steven Regal walks over to Bryan Danielson, slaps him in the face, and makes him shake hands. And then they all made out. It was fucking awesome. I was so hot. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I'll take one step back here. I think at the beginning of this match, we noted like, hey, this is something that was a little bit forced onto the card storyline wise. Now I see why. We were joking like, oh my God, everybody's looking at their phones during this shit that we should be so excited for because the card's so long. The match did heat up. I've never seen Chris more excited than when Darren Mathis showed up.
Chris, thoughts?
I've been a Steven Regal fan since WCW. Since before he was going to change Bobby Eaton into the Earl Robert Eaton.
Yes.
But more importantly, the most important thing I think about this is that I would be very surprised that that's he's there in the only capacity in which he's at AEW is to be the manager of some, Bryan Danielson, John Moxley faction.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yes.
He's listed on the AEW website as a coach.
Okay. Now, right. So NXT was excellent. NXT was a lot of fun, and it wasn't a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for a long period of time, Jim, if you remember when we started first watching it. Even when it was Carmella's dog, something happened with Carmella's dog with Enzo Amore, and I don't even remember what the storyline, but it was just so bad and so funny. From the moment we started watching NXT to the moment they changed what NXT was always an entertaining show. And this was for the longest time a taped wrestling show. The reason, one of the biggest reasons behind that was the fact that Steven Regal was the coach there.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that was coaching everybody, that was putting all the pieces together. I think Bernard was like the head coach, but Steven Regal ran that thing, or William Regal, whatever they called him over there. It doesn't matter. The Lord. We'll just refer to him as the Lord. He's the Lord from now on. The Lord. Yeah, he's the Lord. Lord Darren. So anyway, Lord Darren is now in AEW, and I think you're going to see within the next, I say by the end, what are we in, March? So by the end of the summer, it's going to be very quick. You're going to start seeing a lot of these performers that have kind of sloppy holes in their game. Those sloppy holes are going to get filled in, just with the simple fact that he's there. And I think it benefits them a great deal. And I'm glad he's there because he was in NXT and NXT was great. They, I don't know what the terms of them parting ways, them being the Lord and WWE parting ways were, but soon they went to NXT 2.0 and he's not there anymore. And it's shitskis. So
I'm hearing different reviews on that. I'm hearing a lot of people are into it now.
Well,
we got used to the new look. I mean, it's not for me, but whatever.
Listen, for me, it's not the look. For me, it's the people that they have. I had no desire to watch any of these Buff Biffman and Steve Wellington and Joe the Muscle Guy from Australia. And I have no desire to watch any of these dudes.
Van Hammer. What's that one guy?
Van Hammer. I don't know. Who was Van? No, Van Hammer's at WCW. I have no idea.
What is that like? What is that like? Thunder from Down Under, whatever. You'd see the billboards for. Like,
yeah. Mouse Strippers.
Yeah, that's like what a lot of their roster looks like. It's like they.
I used to go to them. Benny and Flynn's
You
all
used
male
to go?
review. Yeah, I used to go to the Benny and Flynn's all male review. Oh, I didn't fucking the warehouse. What was that place called? The Cave.
The Cave.
Yeah, I used to go to the Cave and look at dicks like rubbing and flopping in my face.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah.
As you're rattling off these names, it's like I'm hearing a Thunder from Down Under ad.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. It's Magic Mike 3XL.
Excellent. Great film, the first one. Any thoughts, final thoughts on this, Brandon?
No, I think I'm good. You got me more excited. I guess the one thing that kept popping in my head was like, who's the, like if there's an avalanche of WWE people, William Regal's a big chunk of this sliding over. Who's the next guy that's now become a lot more likely to join that as of Saturday? You would have thought no chance. Shawn Michaels? Like,
no, fuck him, dude. Fuck his ass. Literally. I don't.
And you're talking shit about me and the Thunder Down Under.
I'm not talking shit. Hey, man.
Fucking butts.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, Triple H was watching that jealous. So who else is that's got a little bit less?
I'm going to interrupt you here. I'll be honest with you. I don't think fucking Triple H was watching any of this shit.
I don't really care.
I don't think he watches any of this shit. They work for Vince. They're on call 24 hours a fucking day. They ain't watching anybody else's wrestling. They're like, can this guy die so he stops calling me?
Yeah.
I got a great idea, pal.
Oh, Braun Breaker, by the way, was on Raw, I believe, last night.
I think there was definitely someone texted, maybe someone, I don't think he's like sitting there buying the pay-per-view. Somebody texted him. He saw the video and had a deep sigh.
Or he probably sent him a text and was like, good job, man. You did a great job.
There's some piece of him that's like, ah.
All right, I'm down with Regal Goon. I'm all about it. Let's do this.
He is right now the sole reason I'm excited to watch Dynamite tomorrow night.
Nonsense. Wait till you hear what we got to watch. You'll be very excited. Next up. All right, just as a lead in. So they had a triple threat match for the TNT title. Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Andrade El Idolo. Now I'm assuming you guys didn't watch any of these last two shows. Did you guys watch Dynamite or Rampage? Chris?
I watched Dynamite, yeah.
Brandon?
No.
All right, go out of your way to watch this match, though. This match is fucking insane. First of all, we were talking about the Tower of Suplex, Tower Power Suplex. There's a point where Andrade has, I'm trying to think of exactly how the spot was, but it was like Andrade has Sammy Guevara in a powerbomb setup, but on top of Sammy Guevara's powerbomb setup is Darby Allin also in a powerbomb setup, and he walks them out to the middle of the ring and slams them both into the fucking mat. The best loser, the biggest loser in AEW, Andrade El Idolo, is fucking amazing every match, and he rules. So anyway, let's go into this 6-man tornado tag match. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting defeated the Andrade Hardy family office. Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy, with Jose the assistant, who was taking all the bumps via pinfall. Sting jumped off stuff. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, so about 30 minutes before this match happened, I looked at the clock and it struck an 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I had to turn around a WBR, a weekly business report for the company I work for, by 9 o'clock the next morning. So I packed it up and hit a Wawa, hit the ATM, got my bridge toll, and hit my bridge toll and snooze through the rest of this card.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I love this. This was the shot in the arm I needed. Yeah, this was the shot in the arm this pay-per-view needed at this point. It was a perfect spot to put it. And, if nothing else, the just Sting going through 12 tables was enough right there to get me. Yeah, off the entrance ramp through three tables.
Ramp, I mean the entrance ramp where they like bring in the equipment.
Like where the Zamboni drives through. Yeah, not that big fucking
who came
tunnel.
Through the Zamboni ramp?
No, he jumped off of the top of the Zamboni, the Zamboni hole. The hole the Zamboni comes out of. He jumped off and then dove through fucking 5 tables?
Three tables.
They were stacked. Chris is yawning. Chris is so excited he's yawning.
3 tables.
Dude, there was so many different crazy shit that was going on that it was like laughable that they couldn't keep track of it all. There was just shit going on all over the fucking stadium. This match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, this was fun,
thrilled
man.
to hear this.
This was fun.
I'm trying to think of like some other crazy shit that happened. Oh, okay. One point that I made when we were watching was that I think it's Isaiah Cassidy and I think Darby Allin both went through a table next to the announce area. Now, I'm making a plea to all the AEW producers, okay? All the professional wrestling producers that listen to this podcast, that look for pointers. I want you to put, if you're going to have random tables around the stadium and weird spots the guys are going to take a bump, you need to have catering on it. Every single table needs to have catering. It's the smart. I'm giving you a hint. You will make everyone laugh at home if at some random table that's in the middle of nowhere, people jump through it and fuck it, a bowl of salad and chicken tenders go flying all over the fucking place. Just pies. There you go.
Yeah,
like
like
a giant birthday cake.
Everything.
It would be amazing. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
I agree with you 100%. You said that night. The only other thing that I would have them do is when NXT, when Karrion Kross went through a table and Scarlett Bordeaux was sitting on a case, writhing and sweating. That's the only other thing that you could do that would almost match that. But random, I feel the same way. Like if you're gonna randomly have a table, not only does it make sense because the table's there for a reason, right? Like now the food's not there for any reason, but the table's holding that nonsense food. So there's a reason there's a table there.
Right.
Now the reason why the food's there, that's anybody's guess. But the table needs to be there because the food is there.
Like imagine
Like,
there's a giant table, right? There's a table sitting there, and they're going to go through it. But to preface this, as they're going ready to go through it, you have like Excalibur with a giant piece of celery dipping it into some dip. Like, and he bites into it and it blows up and it flies all over the place. It'd be amazing. I know wrestling's real and serious business, but man, that fucking spot would pop me every single time. What is one of the highlights of the holiday episodes of WWE?
Right.
It's the stupid Thanksgiving one, or it's the Christmas one where they just start fucking doing crazy shit with Christmas trees, or Halloween, where Cesaro has a giant pumpkin on his head.
He suplexed the skeleton.
He suplexed the skeleton. When John Moxley, or whatever his name was back then, he gave him an elbow to the outside on a table, but he put the witch's broom between his legs before he did it. This shit's amazing. Do it all the time. That was
great.
I ask you. I implore you. Brandon, questions?
This guy's got calzones on the brain. He's like, I wish this table was covered in Batman calzones. I think the funniest would be if it was catered by like a Primo's type place,
right?
And you just
Primo's
saw like
hoagies for those
exploding mayo-based party salads and like cold cuts trickling onto Sting's
pepper shooters.
Like, yeah.
Oh, no! You can't waste those.
Dude, fucking turkey crusher. I had one the other day.
Turkey crusher. You can't waste the pepper shooters.
Couldn't go through a show without talking about shit myself. Hey, let's move on. AEW World Championship singles match. Adam Page defeated Adam Cole. Adam Page came out with his pride jacket on to flip the bird to those Florida Don't Say Gay fucking bills, which was pretty cool. And we had dual Adam chants, which was amazing. Brandon, thoughts?
Should we mention before that, since you referenced the pride jacket, Adam Page just crushing Kane?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I don't have it handy. Do you have the text?
You guys talk. I'll find it.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to talk about if we don't have it.
Well, talk about the match.
I was just like, so that was, I'll say that was a guy that I had fallen a little flat with emotionally, as far as emotional connection to the performer.
You're talking about Adam Page?
Yes. We're talking about the AEW champion. He was their boy, and I'm not them, and I felt a little bit disconnected to him. Them, I would like to stay disconnected to, but him. And then all of a sudden this week he heated up. I missed that. I saw it online, but I think that's fucking awesome that he's stepped out and acknowledged that. And then he just absolutely butchered the phony baloney mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs.
He's not
via
from
Twitter.
Knox. It's not Knoxville. It's like Knox County. It's like this tiny little place with rich people that live in it.
Well, if you guys didn't find it by then, I got to step in. That's all the ranting I got in me.
I'm trying to find
Knox
it. I'm trying to
County,
find it.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it anywhere.
I will. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't care about Adam Cole or Adam Page anymore. Over both of them, I think Adam Page is a, he's a good wrestler, but as far as I'm concerned, him being a main eventer is just Dudsville. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'm at the point we were talking about. Andrade earlier on, and I'm at the point. Not only should Andrade wrestle for the title, but when he wrestles Adam Page for the title, he should fucking squash him. I don't think he's. Adam Page. Now, when I watch that match, the whole rant I went on about Adam Cole is the same thing about Adam Page. He's cowboy guy. I'm over it. Just dud,
He's lovable.
Fucking dud.
He's lovable. I like him.
Fucking
All right,
dud.
here goes Glenn Jacobs. Ready? Glenn Jacobs, mayor of some shit place in fucking Tennessee. Mind you, the smartest person, according to a lot of the WWE roster, the smartest person that ever worked there.
It was Knox County. You were right.
Yeah. If you on the left are shocked by Putin's aggression, wake up, sunshine. Historically, in the real world, might makes right. Weakness, which is really what the left is all about, is not a virtue. It's a fatal character flaw. I'm actually giving more inflection than fucking Glenn Jacobs has ever given in a promo. And no, the U.S. should still not get involved. So Hangman Adam Page replied to him, direct reply to him. He tags UNICEF to support children of the Ukraine, the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund, and also tags a YouTube video of 10 ruthless chair shots Kane took to the head.
Just a 10 out of 10. Couldn't have done better response.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And nothing from Glenn.
Now, Glenn, shut up. He was like, "Doi. My base will support me." I enjoyed this match. How about Adam Cole's dork gear that he came to the ring with? Chris, we have multiple video game guys now. He came dressed up like the Halo Man.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was
Master Chief out. Let's go.
It was Master Chief. He didn't have the helmet on, though. He had his dork ass face.
No, he just had
It was corny as shit.
It's got to go helmet.
Oh God! And
Like, as a pro wrestler, you're playing cosplay all the time. So you're a cosplayer cosplaying.
You're a fucking heel, bro. Like, what the fuck? I forgot about this. And Brandon, when I tell you this, Jim, you'll agree with me. This wasn't okay. I've done multiple Halloween costumes in which I've gone to Halloween Adventure to buy the costume that I want to be for Halloween, just so I can use the plastic pieces, and then I'm going to put together something around. It's going to be an addition to this stuff, but I need these little accents that I can't make myself. Okay. So like, if you're Wolverine, you buy the whole Wolverine costume just to get the claws because I can't make that, right? I need the claws. I was Wolverine one year, but I was like, I was like the 90s cartoon Wolverine where I had a denim jacket with the furry collar. I had a
you were Logan. You were the Logan.
Yeah, I was Logan. I had the professor. I had the X-Men like School for Gifted Youngsters t-shirt, a flannel shirt on top of it, jeans, boots, and these dumb claws, right?
Yeah.
That's what I did. He basically he went to Halloween Express or whatever it's called, Adventure, and he bought a Master Chief costume and then just put it over his ring gear. It didn't even fit him.
It looked good.
Let
me ask you, over under. Okay, so who does Halloween Adventure better, Adam Cole or Evil?
I'm going to go Evil on that.
Evil does bring, well, at least he used to bring the laser fingers. They would
laser fingers, and everybody hates him.
Yep.
So it adds to it. But this guy is supposed to be like the cool bad guy. And he came dressed as, I'm guessing it was the master. It was sad. It was really like, and once again, we talk about echo chambers, right? He walked down to the ring and everybody in that, probably like right next to ringside there, was probably, yo, it's so cool, fucking Halo. And I was like, I'm watching him come down the ring, like,
Oh my
what
God,
the
this is so
fuck is this
embarrassing.
doing? He's embarrassing
embarrassing.
himself. Fucking Halo, dude.
Lame.
Yeah, it's
And
disappointing.
yo,
Just go ahead.
sorry, let me just one final point. This is why you need somebody to be able to say, no,
No,
this
you're a
is a
bad guy, dude.
bad
You shouldn't be doing
idea. Stop it.
This
And
is
I
what
bet
Rey
you
Mysterio does. He's a good guy. He
Right,
wears
he's-
fucking superhero gear.
he is like a superhero, right? He
Yes.
flies all over the place. He's this
You're cheating super kickman. You
I
don't wear
think-
Master Chief.
I think if this happened, say, in whatever the next pay-per-view is, right? Whatever it is, this happened then. And he says, I'm going to wear this down to the ring. And now Regal works there. Now the Lord works there. And the Lord picks him aside and goes, don't fucking put that on. You're a fucking bad guy. Take it the fuck off. Isn't Arn Anderson supposed to be doing this shit too? Like, he's another one that should be like, what are you doing? You're fucking.
Maybe Arn left with Cody. Who knows?
Maybe he did.
I don't know.
Maybe you are.
Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, and to your point, Chris, it's just disappointing because it's like the amount of thought that you put into your Halloween costume that you're going to show to a couple hundred people.
At best.
The last non-COVID Halloween, I decided I was going to be Gold Dust.
It's great.
I ordered that
Didn't
shit.
win. Second place.
I'm still hot about that. I ordered that shit the Labor Day weekend and made sure I sized myself up because I had to get it from China and fit. And I made sure that it worked just so I could, for fucking fun, because 100 people are going to see it. This guy's going to main event a pay-per-view on the hottest company. He's like, the weekend of, this is his preparation for this. That kind of shit is just a bummer, but I don't want to hammer him. I didn't even watch the thing.
I'm gonna blame it on the design team that designed the exploding barbed wire match. That's what I'm gonna blame it on. Same crew.
That's another one.
What wasn't that Kenny Omega and his buddy in a welding room?
There you go.
This Kenny Omega and
Anyway,
Callis.
the match was good. Anyway, the match was good. Oh, Kenny Omega's back, by the way. He was in the pre-show.
Most outstanding.
Yeah, we were
Match
eating.
was good.
We were opening boxes of Pizzonis or whatever, Calzonis.
Calzonis.
Kenny Omega.
I ate some vegetables. though.
Superman Strombolis.
So did we get like interference? We got interference in this match, didn't we? Red Dragon and shit came out. Do I remember this correctly? This is how Zach. Mind you, this match was at 11:45, something like that. This is when I was supposed to be paying attention the most on the main event. It kind of sucks that they put so much effort into these matches being. I don't know, like none of the matches were bad. I'm gonna say that none of them were bad. They were good. They were above average matches, most of them. A couple of great ones. But by the end of it, like, who the fuck is paying attention to this? In one sitting? Oh my God, I'm so tired. Start your match. Start your shows at 7, please. I'm old. Brandon, go ahead.
You're not old. It's just like, I don't know how you don't, for the 5th time in a row, look at what you're doing and go, it's midnight on Sunday night. Is this the best we can do?
Yeah, I don't get it. Chris, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, you right, like, to what I was saying, like you said it was a good match. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jim. I don't even fucking remember it. And it's
I remember
not
a lot of super kicks. I think there was interference, but I don't remember.
well,
You were
this is
laughing too much.
not only that, but it's like, I don't remember it, not because it wasn't good, not because it lost my attention. I don't remember it because I was tired before this fucking thing started. But when you guys got to my house, if you didn't come over, I could have been asleep. Right. I mean, I was almost going to fall asleep on my recliner before the mirror fell off the wall and almost killed me.
Yeah, I
But
missed that too, Brandon.
I just, yeah, like you said, it's like, how do you expect people to be paying attention when the main event is just like, you've been watching wrestling for 6 hours, dude.
It was 25 minutes. It's the second longest match of the night. The longest match was CM Punk and MJF, which had CM Punk and MJF, which it says it's listed at 26 and a half minutes. That was 30 minutes because they had to come to the ring. His CM Punk's fucking entrance took forever, and then they had to put the fucking dog chain on them. It was like another 5 minutes. Easy. Dude, you gotta start these shows earlier.
But just shave some of this stuff out of it. There were some matches on this show that could have taken place on TV. I'm not picking on Jade Cargill, but that's a TBS title match. Could have taken place on TV.
But it's
But
a
could
title
it-
match.
But I mean, but she wrestles a title match every week.
So, okay, I'm looking at the card in front of me. I got the card in front of me. The 6-man match. It ended up being awesome. And they rushed through it. You're not going to have Sting on the pre-show, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, he don't work the pre-show.
The tag match, the tag tournament match, Young Bucks are not going to be on the pre-show. The only thing I could see being on the pre-show would have been the ladder match. If you were going to say common sense, saying that the titles, like pretending this is like a real sporting event, the titles have to be on the main card. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. And also, think
Jericho
about it
wasn't going to be on a pre-show either.
No, he was the first match. Perfect.
Right, and it was 13 minutes or whatever.
But also, put it this way: all 3 matches on the pre-show didn't have to take place. They were all TV matches.
Right.
Okay. You could have had the pre-show being a pre-show and had that entire ladder match take place on the pre-show. It's on YouTube. Your fan base watches that.
Yeah.
Your
and
fan
the people
base
that are
is
there
watching
already
that
paid
match.
for it. They can watch it. They're going to be in the stadium anyway. They're
Right.
waiting out front to get in the building. They're not fucking showing up whenever.
It's not a WWE thing where it's like a couple matches that nobody cares about, and then they sit there and basically talk on a network that you get what used to be, and even still a Peacock on a network where you get the pay-per-view. So if you're watching, you don't have to buy the pay-per-view. It's not more money. So
Right.
there's but they're like selling you on something, because they've always done that. They're selling you. That's why I mean, like it would work better in AEW's format, because you actually have to pay for the pay-per-view. So if you put a match like the Face of the Revolution, you put that on the pay-per-view or on the pre-show on YouTube, your fan base at home in the stadium already going to be there, right? People that bought the pay-per-view are going to be watching that. That's the nature of AEW's fan base. They're not like, I might not. They're pretty hardcore.
You're going to get 1 million people that are going to watch it. You're going to make money off it.
And you're going to make money, not to mention all the money you're going to make off the YouTube video, but then you might get some people who will check it on YouTube and go, yo, this is pretty good. You know what? Fuck it. Let's rent it.
Let's rent it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the whole point between they used to do like, Sunday Night Heat. That's what that was for, to get you to rent a fucking pay-per-view.
Right.
They tease you, and it was like the last fucking, come
I
on,
want to watch more of this.
Yeah.
We'll be over here on Philly's Choice, Channel 38.
Oh, no.
Brandon, good.
You sent this post, Jim, of the AEW metrics, which is just a fucking
Right, go
bananas Twitter account that exists. So just crunch the numbers real quick. They've had 119 title matches. 18 of those have resulted in a change of belt. That's 15%.
Mm-hmm.
18 of 119, which is fine. I threw out the idea that, hey, this is a new company that's sorting itself out. It reminds me of like the closest fighting promotion I've watched like that was the UFC back in the day. They used to turn the title over every pay-per-view because it was fucking chaotic. If you want to go the other way and be like, this is fucking serious, these are the best wrestlers on the planet, the title isn't going to change that much. That's fine until you're watching Christian Cage do ladder Legos in the middle of their quarterly pay-per-view, and then you get caught in the wash.
Right. No, I understand. All right, so final thoughts on the pay-per-view before we do some wrapping up. You guys got any points? Anything I missed? Anything from Rampage or Dynamite? Brandon?
I don't think we missed anything. I'm excited I'll probably go back and rewatch that big tornado tag match at the end. I think I kind of mailed in the fact that this went like the other ones, and I'm thrilled to hear that they evolved in that sense. And it's like that second to last spot was just absolute mayhem. Getting Sting in there. I think they did that one time previously with the Bart and Krusty theatric match.
Right.
But that's awesome.
Chris, any final questions, thoughts, concerns, anything I missed?
No, I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
I got to say, like, I've turned around on, maybe not on Sammy Guevara, but depending on who he wrestles with, his matches are kind of must watch at this point. If it's got Andrade in it, if it's got Darby Allin in it, I'm going to watch. If it's got some mid-card dude that he's going to beat, then I don't give a shit about it. The story around it is never, like, Sammy isn't the star of any of his stories. But he does crazy enough shit that the last 2 matches, at least, the one on Friday and the pay-per-view, were really fucking good. I mean, a lot of it has to do with Andrade being ridiculous. Andrade is so fucking stiff, too. There's a scene where yeah, we're watching movies pretty much. Him and Darby Allin are exchanging strikes, and Andrade is fucking laying his chops into him. At one point, it looked like Darby got pissed for real. Like he really slapped the living shit out of him, and his chair shots. He ran up and fucking nailed Darby Allin in the back of the head with that chair to start off the match. It was fucking insane. I don't know. If you were to say, okay, Brandon, if you were to say, now mind you didn't watch the last two matches, pick two matches that people got to go out of their way to check out on this pay-per-view, considering that it's 4 hours.
I'll tell you, yes, the CM Punk MJF match. For me, I'm going to go out of my way to watch the second to last one. So,
right. Yeah, Chris.
If I had to pick a third, I would go with the Bryan
Moxley.
Danielson one because of the
We're pretty much
thing.
going to be in agreement here, aren't we, Chris?
I'm just going to regurgitate what Brandon said.
Yeah, it's
dog collar, Sting, and
you wouldn't go Big
Mox.
Smooch?
Big Smooch is cool. It's only 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. I like that match. I thought that was really good. Jay Gargale's fucking superstar, man. Love her. All right, let's move on. Did you think it was the greatest pay-per-view of all time, Brandon?
Of course, yeah. Until their next one.
Yeah, Chris, greatest pay-per-view of all time?
Yeah, until they have another one, then that'll be better. Like Brandon said, I'm just gonna repeat Brandon.
I agree with you. It's better than anything WWE's ever done.
Ever.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. All right, so Dynamite this week. This is what we got. Okay, TNT title match. So Scorpio Sky has been demanding a match. And I think it's like Dan Lambert got Paige Van Zant signed storyline-wise, got her signed, but part of the deal was that Scorpio Sky gets his title match. Pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Brandon's thoughts?
That's the tough part about leaving these pay-per-views like this, right? It's like, I wonder if Scorpio Sky is going to take it this week after we just built up for a quarter and got nowhere.
Chris, thoughts?
So when we talk about, all right, so I'm just going to refer to all these. When you mention these guys and I have nothing to say when we're in AEW, I'm just going to say Scorpio Sky, he'll be the Ring of Honor television champion. Move on.
There you go. Wardlow fights whoever wins this match. Let's see what else we got. Layla. Oh, we talked about it. Okay, so champion eliminator match. Winner faces Britt Baker at St. Patrick's Day Slam edition of Dynamite.
I do like how they make these shows, even though they're just TV shows. They kind of try to make them feel special.
Make them special. Like,
yeah, I do like that. You know, Beach Blast in Cleveland.
Yeah,
in winter.
I wonder if this. Yeah. Britt Baker. I'm saying Britt Baker wins. She sounds like she's Irish again. That much. So the winner of Layla Hirsch and Thunder Rosa faces Britt Baker on St. Patrick's Day Slam. That's all I got so far. Brandon, thoughts on that?
I agree.
About it.
We did already talk about it, but I agree though. It is funny. Like sometimes if you throw in an old random WCW or WWF, there's some cable event going on. You're like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen this backdrop before, and it does like add a little extra to it, a little spice.
The Cinco de Mayo.
Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, Great Balls of Fire. That was
I know it's a paper.
Chris, any thoughts?
Nah, we talked about this one already. We can move on.
So I was thinking about this, okay, and I'm going to run it past you guys because we're going to be slowing down a little bit. New Japan is kind of stinky. I'm trying to get caught up on the New Japan Cup, but it's whatever. Stardom doesn't have a big show until the end of the month. TJPW, whatever, I'll watch that. I probably won't make you guys watch it. Their big Goku Kikan show. I was thinking about doing something a little fun. Now, I'm not the first person to think to do this. I'm just pretty much stealing other people's ideas. I was thinking maybe we'll do a little March Madness. My idea is this. I'll come up with a list. We will vote, and we're going to create a bracket. And we're going to try to figure out who is the greatest professional wrestler of the stuff we watch. The WWE guys are not going to be included. And I'm going to kind of storyline it a little bit, where if you have a title, you're a champ. If you've had a champ longer than other people, it's going to move you around. The champs will get the higher brackets, the higher seeds. We'll move it around. What do you guys think about this? Would you be interested in it, Brandon?
Yeah, I think that I would. So who would be involved? It's AEW,
Be
Stardom. What
AEW, New
beyond
Japan
that?
Pro Wrestling, Stardom, couple people from TJPW. Who else do we watch?
CZW.
No, we don't watch CZW. We could throw Nick. Who's the champ over there? Is it still fucking? Oh, it's Matt Cardona. We could throw him in there.
The only part about this
Impact.
that I second guess is no WWE, where it's like I think Roman Reigns should
Should
be.
we just throw Roman Reigns in there and Brock, the guys at the top?
Yeah,
of the card?
just
Yeah, so
handpick
just to do it.
Yeah,
The guys that
make it more exciting was we could have that debate of
Who's the best?
person X versus Roman Reigns.
Well, how about that? No, well, here we go. So here's a perfect way to frame it. So we know that winning and losing doesn't make you a good wrestler. It's the performance. So
No, it's
right there.
storyline.
Doesn't,
We're going with
doesn't
story.
matter. Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So we can, I think there is a consensus probably, Jim. I bet you if you went through and you picked 4, 6 WWE guys off the top of your head, we will all agree, fine, go with them.
Yes,
You understand what I mean? We all know who the good guys are,
including titles. So good
Yeah.
guys, women as well. It's just all this intergender.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the good wrestlers in WWE. We know who they are. So fuck it. You know what I mean? Maybe I might disagree. Somebody might be in there, but it's close enough. We'll roll with it.
Right.
Just
so if
make
you're
us like
injured-
goofily hash through like El Idolo versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. Also, like if you're injured, whether it's storyline or real life, say like Asuka in WWE, she doesn't have a title and she hasn't wrestled for months. She's not included. I think she's fucking amazing. She's not included. Io Shirai, she's amazing. Not included. She doesn't have a title and she wrestles for fucking NXT. So we eliminate some of those people. We add a little drama to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no NXT. No. What about Ring of Honor?
All right. We could throw like the who the fuck is the Impact champ? I think they just switched. Yeah, I have no idea. They're not included. Impact's not.
I don't
included.
fucking know. They're so.
But I'll throw Matt Cardona in there. He's got like fucking 5 titles right now.
No, he's the shit right now. Fuck that.
He's Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah.
He's up at Q-Mart if you want to see him this weekend.
Yeah. So what do you think? You want to do this?
Let's do it like real March Madness. Like we'll do like knock out the first 2 rounds in one. Like
that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
So this, either we'll do that or we'll do like a special. Maybe we'll take a look at the calendar and see if any of us have to not record that day, and then we'll record it ahead of time and we'll just use that episode.
We could do that too.
Yeah. We'll take a look at the calendar and we'll go through this, and then we'll post on social media what the bracket looks like. But we'll go through it, and I'll have a rough idea, and then we can discuss it and figure out where guys are going to seed. Sound good?
100%.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Sounds like fun. All right, cool.
Look at that. A little bit of innovation around here.
There we go. I definitely didn't make this up. I stole this from people. It's not original, but I'm okay with that. I think it'll be fun. Especially since how many times people are going to keep tuning in just to listen to us complain about fucking Keith Lee, because that's our new guy to complain about. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get sick of listening to us go, oh, Keith Lee. Why does he speak that way? Oh, by the way, Ricky Starks fucking making fun of him is amazing. He walked. Did you guys see it? He walked into the interview with Keith Lee and he goes, "Greetings and salutations to all of you." Keith Lee goes, No, stop it. It was so good.
I do have a little parting point that just kind of popped into my head. So they showed, like you just brought up, Scorpio Sky.
Mm-hmm. He's cool.
Ethan Page.
Yeah, stinks.
People that don't really do anything on TV. We constantly say, like, the roster's so bloated. They keep signing all these guys. I don't have a problem like that. They're signing all this talent that's available. A lot of these people aren't getting used because they have these weird jobber storylines with fucking mainly those two. Those two, they're like, fucking Ethan Page and the other guy, Scorpio Sky. It's like, they're just not in a storyline that's even worth paying attention to. But you think about all these guys that, like, we talk about it all the time. They bring these guys in, they don't even use them. And these two are like You know, when we used to watch the Flyers, and you'd be like, it was always, I want to know who got scratched from this game or who's playing in the minor leagues, because that asshole.
Because Zach Ronaldo's on the team.
Zach Ronaldo's on the team,
fucking
right?
Worst Flyer of all time.
Right. And it always, and I always, every time we watch sports, like if I'm at work and I have a game on, no matter what sport it is, I make that point. Somebody makes a mistake and I don't know who it is. I'm always like, I want to know who's not playing because that guy's on the team. Right. And we're at this point, like whenever I see those two on my TV, I think to myself, who isn't on TV today because they had to give those two a fucking spot? It's so odd that you see some of these people on TV and it's like, and they
soaked up so much time in the pay-per-view going up and looking at them.
Well, that was their changing the ring.
Yeah.
The ring. I mean,
but give me,
I don't know about you, but don't you think maybe you should have ran a fucking ad?
Right.
I'm looking at it from a business
and do some kind of fucking backstage thing with like a video, like some background story. Hey, let's show that video of CM Punk and his AFI song.
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Library now.
I don't understand. Like, to me, like from a business standpoint, it's like, wouldn't you try to sell some fucking ad space and then air a pro wrestling tease commercial? They do all of your fucking merch. Yes. Why do you keep showing like, oh yeah, it was this the whole time? What's over there?
Paige Van Zandt at one point.
Van Zandt looks got coke boogers. She had coke snot running out of her nose. I think honestly, they had that light on him. She was probably sweating her ass off. Yeah. But it's just like
I am of the theory, and I said it when we were watching the show, was that she was falling asleep, and somebody was like, "Hey, I got some salts," and she sniffed them right before they came on camera. She was like, "Whoa."
So I have a stray cat. I don't want to call it a problem because they keep all the mice out of my
stray cats.
Hold on. Yeah, stray cats in the neighborhood. Well, there was a period, and it happens every once in a while, where they will crawl around my tires and pee on my tires. And then I'll get in the car and I'll turn on my HVAC and I smell cat pee. Yes, well, that's what it is.
Is it? What does HVAC stand for?
Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
I thought it was home.
I think he's right. Yeah.
Just never heard anybody refer to it as that.
My climate control. So a while back,
you would smelling more cat pee than you would like to smell.
No. So a while back, I read that if you spray your tires or the base of your automobile with ammonia, they don't come near it, and it works. I haven't had that issue in a while. So today was recycling day, and my recycling can is getting a little, gunky. So I take it to this warm out. I take it to the back, and I'm going to wash it out with the hose. And I take the cleaner from the garage, not realizing and not caring that it is the lemon scented ammonia that I spray on my tires and in my car. And I spray the trash can down with it. And then I take the hose and I stick it in there. Me being me, I basically just stick my face and everything. I stick my face in there. My head is now almost in the trash can. I was like, whoa. And, to your point, my eyes were running and my nose was running down my face. Oh, and then right after I got my wits about me, stuck my face right back in there. I was like, yeah, let's go. Stuck my face right back into the can.
It's party time. Chris is off the wagon. He's got the ammonia.
I know where you can buy. It's Little Caesars.
They have, there's like this, power lifters use it. It's this ammonia based, I guess, smelling salt, comes in a jar.
I have it.
It's so strong you're not even supposed to open it indoors.
I bought it.
Was I supposed to say something? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm done talking.
I bought that just because I was watching people do it, and I was so curious what that sensation is that everybody reacts the same. It was like $15 on Amazon. Yeah. And I was going to mention this to you guys before. I'm glad that you brought it up. One of the funniest things, it almost like suggests keeping it at the bar. It came in the mail from Amazon as I was leaving to go out and meet up with some friends. So I just opened the package, just threw the thing in my pocket, and was like, this will be fun tonight. and opened it up like after a couple of drinks, like lets people whiff it, and everybody inevitably inhales way too hard, and just you could just feel it cook your entire skull, just right to the back of your head, just singed. And we were doing it and laughing after we did it a couple of times, and then watching like the real bottom 5% drunks see us do that at the bar and come up and be like, "What do you like? What is that? What are
the drugs?"
And just yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
That's good shit.
I watched a group of 4 dudes in their 40s close out immediately. It's like, I gotta go.
Datterall.
It might be a pro tip. Just here you go. You're getting tired. Here, take a big huff.
Carbonate, right? Carbonate. That's what it is. All right, final thoughts. Let's get out of here.
That was my final thought.
Yeah, let's go. Don't or if you do sniff salts, make sure you've got somebody in on it so you can make fun of them, right? At the bar.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us this week. Join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow, tell your friends. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Wrestling is Hard Productions. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we will be back here next week.